So we're not doing the bit.
Well, I mean, is this the bit? I can't
Is
tell anymore.
this might be the new bit, but
If we're checking is it the bit check? Bit check.
is it? I don't think we're
Bit
doing it
check.
anymore.
Oh,
I don't. Well, I mean the old bit.
okay. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, we could always bring it up back for funsies. Oh no, we're lost in a void. Oh,
Oh God!
oh no.
It's all.
Please help.
I'm scared.
Please subscribe and like. You'll save us that way. If you care, if you have a heart.
Give my life value.
If it sounds like a mask for charity, it is.
All right, let me apologize right off the bat. We already started. Uh,
Yeah,
I got old man cough this week for some reason. So
you do sound a bit raspy, but that's all right. I understand.
I think it's just time.
Yeah,
Time is a
yeah,
thing.
that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Our Discord's popping off and they're being very noisy about it. So I'll
Oh
quiet that.
no.
What do
Well,
we
I
tell
mean,
everybody what we're talking
pipe
about
it
now?
down in there. Pipe it down.
Stop being a community so much. Quit it. What's wrong with you guys?
Stop. Just stop.
What are we talking about today, Mike? Tell the people.
We're talking about Flame of the Flood, right? That's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's it. You shouldn't sound so confused when you're introducing the topic.
Yeah, I mean, we rehearsed this whole thing. I have a script right
This
here.
is the
We're
eighth
we're
take.
adding all these little bits for comedic effect. That's why heavily
Uh,
scripted show.
Heavily, all the time. This is, I
We don't
spent.
have time for anything else but rehearsing for this show.
This is all I do every day.
This is all we do. Please stop laughing at
Oh
us in
man,
that way.
not with us. I don't know how
Yeah.
to silence Discord, so it's just gonna be loud. If you
I
hear
just yeah, you can,
little butt ups,
yeah.
uh,
Go click your icon
okay, clicking my
and
icon.
hit do
Everybody
not
loves
disturb.
troubleshooting on
That's
podcast.
right. Well, we're not editing this out, right?
No, everything stays. Everything. What do I do? Click my icon and then what?
Click the green online part and go
Uh,
to do not disturb.
oh, look at that. Damn.
Yeah, it'll stop hearing little icons
Okay,
or little
perfect.
blips.
Look at that. Now, you see, we're providing a service for everyone.
That's right. In case you
All
didn't know about Discord, check
right.
out our Discord tutorial within the podcast.
And join our Discord so you can also
Please.
exercise what you've learned.
Yeah, by
Um,
muting our Discord.
all right, so we're talking about
Alright.
this really neat little game uh,
Yep.
called
2016.
2016. It's called The Flame in the Flood. Um, So, a little personal history. I remember Mike telling me to play this game like 200 years ago when I was
That's
like,
right.
I got nothing to play on the Switch. And you're like, check this out. I was like, okay. And then I bought it and I played it
Yeah.
once. I played through it once, really liked it, kind of forgot about it. And lately, I've been on this survival game kick, just trying to figure out. I'm trying to write an article, but I'm trying to figure out like what the hell it is about survival games that I like so much, and what makes them so appealing, and
Mhm.
what makes them utterly frustrating sometimes. And
Yeah, it's a hard thing to balance.
yeah, so
The enjoyment to experience level.
yeah, so this is the first game I'm kind of looking at. This is okay. I want to retire this phrase, but it's a rogue like
Yeah, action roguelike as it says so in the
cool.
Steam store.
All right,
So,
here's a problem with this. All right,
yeah,
let me get on my soapbox really quick.
yeah. Okay, you're you. So, all right, he's
I'm on
on
top.
there.
I'm
Yep.
on top. All right.
Yep.
Sorry, I needed help. It's kind of tall.
It's fine.
Uh,
It's all right.
has anybody ever fucking played Rogue?
A rogue?
No, Rogue.
I
Rogue is
like
a
like
game.
the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the game Rogue.
No, I haven't
Yeah,
played Rogue.
me neither. I don't know anybody who has. So why the fuck do we keep calling it this? Like we're referencing
I
something we have no reference to.
I guess. I mean, I feel like it's just like it's from that era of like naming conventions of like similar to Metroid, Metroidvania, or Castlevania, like right? Just
Yeah,
the name just kind of sticks, and like the genre just goes with it. It's like,
but
yep,
we
that's
still
it.
get Metroid and Castlevania games.
Yeah.
Like I can still
Yeah.
play those.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a pretty broad one too because like there's roguelikes and then there's what is it? There's
Rogue
roguelites.
Light,
Light.
which I don't know what that means.
Light I've recently figured this out. Roguelite is a reference to the game style where it isn't purely roguelike in the fact that it allows
Okay.
you to progress in certain ways, like, you have meta progression
Oh, so
aspects
like
in the game. Right,
carrying
right,
over like items and
right.
stuff
You
like that. Okay.
increase damage, increase HP,
Right.
helps the future run, rogue dungeon runs go faster.
Uh-huh. So that's what makes it a
So
like, not a light.
no, the meta progressions are a light.
Okay.
Like, it's not a pure rogue game,
Hmm.
it has meta progression in it.
Okay.
So rogue-like is where it is purely punishing, has no meta progression,
Okay.
and it is there to punish you, and you have to get as much out of this each run as each time.
Okay. There'll be a quiz on Wednesday. Everybody, make sure you take your
I
notes. All right.
could be completely wrong because I could have read this off of some article on the internet and
Okay.
like just like
Oh.
making shit up. So,
Well, this one there is a
or
little bit of,
taking a stand.
yeah, there is some progression, but it's weird. It's kind of weird.
Mhm.
You can
It's
so
all tied to the raft, correct?
to the dog. It's tied to the
To the
dog.
dog, right? That's right. Okay.
So let me give the basic premise. You're in some part of the states. It's kind of it's. I don't like saying it's post-apocalyptic because it doesn't seem like it's apocalyptic in the way of like it's not zombies, it's not nuclear
Mhm.
winter. It just seems like there was a bad storm.
Right, and
That's
your
my
character's
impression.
stuck there.
Right. It seems like it's a really bad storm, but it affected so many people at once. Right.
Mhm.
So there's a dog. The game starts with a dog, which is kind of weird. It's a dog pulling a backpack from a skeleton. Hey.
Yeah.
And it's looking for somebody to give the backpack to. And it finds
Mhm.
you. You're this girl. You don't have a name or anything.
Mhm.
And you have a stick with a jar full of fireflies on it. That's about it. And
Yeah.
basically you're in the backpack. There's a note: get to this place. Or no, I'm sorry, there's a radio inside. And so the first goal is to get to a place where you can get a radio signal. But the thing is, the only way you can travel is by river, and that's the flood. So there's a giant river, and you have your own raft, and you have to maneuver down the river, and you just keep moving forward. um, from one place to another. You can dock at different places, and that's when the survival stuff starts to kick in. You got to worry about your hunger, your thirst, your body temperature, and your sleep, how much
Mhm.
rest you get. So you can procure food, you can rest at a shelter, you have to try to stay dry because it rains a lot, especially towards the end. It's just like a downpour. It's ridiculous. You have to be aware of wind, so you need to uh, make clothing to help you. Um, and
Stay
that's
warm and all that,
yeah,
yeah.
to help you stay warm. And that's about it. That's the basic premise. And you're just moving, you just keep going, and there's a bit of a story. It's very light. Um, it's very just like you meet weirdos, like as you go.
The
Sometimes,
survivors of the storm.
yeah, there's like
They're always gotta be weirdos.
yeah, there's like feral children that you can run into.
Oh,
There's
shit.
some of the story you can actually get from quilts that people leave behind, which is kind of interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you'll find a quilt and it'll tell you a story about a random person, and it's got a very like what's the term? It's hard to explain, but the best word I can think of is like Americana. It's got this like um pioneering ish, like, let me tell you the story of one-eyed Jack and blah 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 type
Yeah, yeah.
thing. Yeah. What do you? So I just recently played through it. What do you remember from it, Mike? What were your impressions?
Ants.
God, fuck the ants! I forgot about the ants.
Fucking ants. I remember those fucking ants because I was like, "What is this line on the ground?" And then I would just you walk over them, and then all of a sudden, you're just suffering. You're suffering from ant bites, and that shit's really hard to cure. Because what do you need for that? Like aloe vera or something like that? Just, oh boy, Yeah, there's a lot of
Actually,
hazards.
that's what you do use. You can use aloe. You gotta find
Right,
the
right. Aloe
yeah.
vera, yeah, just aloe, uh, to cure that stuff, to cure the itching, I guess, and just suffering. The game will just like they throw like it has randomized little zones you stop your boat at on a dock, right?
Yeah,
And you go and you're scavenging for supplies every step you go, and there's usually hazards involved as well.
yeah.
With dangerous wildlife, bears, wolves.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Boars.
yeah, have boars as well, right, right. Yeah, and they're all there to just fuck you up.
Yeah.
So, they all hate you.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. They all hate you.
Yeah,
Snakes
it's,
too.
oh shit, snakes. I don't think I ever saw a snake.
Yeah, you can run into snakes. They just kind of sit around, and if you get too
They
close,
coil up.
they'll hiss at you, so they give you a bit of a warning. Um,
Okay.
yeah, there's some interesting mechanics with that too. But yeah, that's basically it. You kind of it's randomized. I think it's procedurally generated.
Right,
So
right. Yeah.
whenever you go to a dock, there's different types of docks. There's like campsites, so they'll always have a fire going, unless it's raining. There's like churches. There's marinas, so you can fix your raft
Right,
and
yeah, you
add
get your
things to it.
the wet dock going on there.
Yeah,
Upgrade your raft, which gets cooler and cooler.
yeah. So anybody playing, heads up, can make a shelter. It's probably the most important thing because you're always gonna want a place to hide from the rain to keep yourself dry. And
Right
like,
on it early.
yeah, get that one early. Yeah, and the game is also the game has a an endless mode too, so you can do the story. You can
Right,
just go
right.
for as long as you can, which is kind of
I
cool.
don't think it might have been at release. I can't remember if they had the endless mode at release, but
Mm.
it might have been like a patched in thing.
Nah, yeah, endless mode is all right, but I so for me, my personal preferences are always like I like to have goals in my games. Um,
Mm,
I like for example, I really liked Dragon Quest Builders in
mhm.
in comparison to like Minecraft. Like, not only is Minecraft the fucking ugliest game ever made, and I put my gravestone right there on that hill. That game is
You're fine.
ugly.
Yeah,
Good
I mean,
lord.
yeah,
Ugh. But every time, I mean, I've only played it with like children. My friends' children have shown
yeah,
me
yeah,
it, and they'll be like,
yeah.
"Yo, play Minecraft." I'm like, "All right."
It's a
And
kid's game, yeah.
I'm like, "What are we doing?" They're like, "Whatever we want." I'm like, I don't. I'm already bored. They're like, "I can fly." I'm like, okay, I don't want to do anything. There's just no reason. But
Yeah.
like Dragon Quest builders will give you like short-term goals, and then you got to make a fortress or blah blah blah, right?
Mhm.
Same with this. Some games, survival's a little weirder because the goal is obvious, is to survive. But like, I need, I don't know how to explain it. Like my fake life needs purpose. So like, yeah, I can
Right,
survive,
right.
but for what? Like, I need,
Yeah, you need a goal.
yeah, I
Need
need,
something to shoot for.
yeah, something to shoot for, or even like just people to help or whatever. Like like even an endless kind of multiplayer thing is fine for me as long as I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Like, we need to go get food. We got to go do this. Like, helping others survive is also like its own goal, right?
Mhm.
This game, it has, the goal's vague, but it's, you're always moving forward, and so that's, for me, it's really like satisfying. Um,
Right.
and it kind of
Yeah.
uh, it makes decision making a little easier because so we're gonna have to compare it to other games, obviously, but
Yeah.
the other most recent survival game I think we've both played is probably Project Zomboid. Um,
Right.
and in Project Zomboid, there's, for me, what you run into like the survivor's dilemma of like, do I keep moving or do I turn back? Do I stay put
Mhm.
or do I go forward? Like, you always have to make these
Yeah.
calls, and you have to do like a risk assessment, right? And so like, you'll know like, oh, there's 1,000 zombies. I'm not going that way. My computer's gonna crash anyway, so I'm gonna go over here, right? Like, can't handle it. but
Yeah.
but in this game, it's like, well, I'll go into an area, and then as soon as I walk through, I hear three wolves, and I'm like, yeah, see ya. It's not even worth it. Like, I'm gonna go find
Yeah.
another place. I know there'll be
Just
other
leave.
places. Yeah, so I'm just gonna leave.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm hungry. Too fucking bad. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna be hungry and dead, so it doesn't matter, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That helps, I think, like alleviate like a certain amount of stress, because you're always gonna be
Right,
moving.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. you're on the path.
Right.
You're on a path that is just moving forward, and there's always something around the corner,
Right. There'll always
good or
be,
bad.
yeah, good, bad, and
That's a part of the excitement.
yeah, and I think like there's also but you also have to do like a bit of like saving for for the literal rainy days because there'll be days that were like especially towards the end game of the main story like the last areas just get stormed and you're just like stuck. It's like
Hmm.
you can't really you can't ride your raft and be in shelter at the same time. So once you're on the water, you're exposed, and it's just like you're just getting you're watching your temperature go down, and you're like, oh my god. And if it's raining, it's harder to see further. There's you can't hear like the snakes and stuff, so it's darker. They have really good dynamic lighting. Oh, I should also say, the game is in like isometric view, um,
That's right. Yeah,
low poly look, um, but
very
fairly,
stylized.
yeah, very stylized, fairly colorful. It's got this like I don't know how to explain it. This like this is the wrong reference, but it's as close as I can get. It's got this like kind of like Invader Zim-ish look, where it's like this like early 2000s like grungy comic
Yeah,
look.
yeah. I got a bit of a like a almost not entirely, but a bit of a James and the Giant Peach
Yes, that's the better.
sort
Yes,
of
that's
style.
closer.
Yeah,
Forget I said Invader
yeah,
Zim. I wish I cared enough to
yeah.
edit. Forget I said that. He's better. That's much closer.
Mind wipe.
Yes. Uh, yeah, closer to James and Giant Peach. No, none of the characters look happy. They all look
Yeah, yeah. The
strung out.
hmm
um,
yeah.
but it adds to the atmosphere a lot, and so you don't. But the thing is, you don't have a lot of like vision, so to speak. So like I found that going slow was always beneficial, which is true to like a survival situation. Like you shouldn't be
Right.
don't do what Bear Grylls does. All right. He's got a packed
Or at least
lunch.
what the editing fools you
Oh
to
yeah.
what he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't
So
fucking run around, hop over fucking boulders or whatever. Like calm the fuck
is that what
down.
he does?
He's
I
an
don't think I've
idiot.
ever watched his show.
Oh, it's so frustrating to see him like just like, oh, I think I see something over there, and he just bolts towards it, and he's like vaulting over stones and climbing cactuses and shit. Just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, slow down. There's snakes.
That's so funny.
Like, you're gonna
Yeah.
trip and you're gonna snap your ankle, and then you're done. Now you're dead.
Hey,
Uh,
at least he gets paid for it, I guess.
I guess. Anyways, yeah. So taking it slow is always. One of the things I like to do is try to employ as many like real life, but like tactics, strategies to like, you know, actually survive that you would use in a hiking or a mountaineering or expedition type situation. And
Hmm.
one of the main like the biggest thing you always have to do is just mitigate risks, right? If you're lost somewhere, the last thing you want to do is make shit worse, right? So taking things slow, assessing your area, what's around you, what do you hear, what do you see, what can you find that can help you, what can you leave behind that you don't
Right.
need, right? Like there's a whole weapon system in that game I just don't engage with. Like you can make a bow and arrow. I'm like, why? I don't want to fight anything. Fuck that. But
Hey, you're succeeding.
right,
That lends to the game itself as well, that you can actually just have options like that. Like you don't actually have to engage in combat.
right. But you can lay traps. And that to me that's like
Hmm.
way safer, right? You can lay a trap and then
Right.
lure
Playing
the
around it.
yeah, lure the beasts towards you. The traps do their thing,
Mhm.
you get some meat, everybody wins, everyone's happy, right?
Right.
So yeah, and that's actually kind of maybe it's not that rare. I don't know. I'm delving more and more into survival games to wrap my head around this idea, but yeah, traps is so like it's so risk averse that it's like crazy. If I don't find more games of traps, I'm gonna be upset because trapping is so super cool. Like
Yeah.
it's the way to go. Like you don't need to try to go at a bear with a hatchet or something. Like that's ridiculous. Like no one's
Yeah, it's
gonna.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so the game is mostly the my approach is always just risk aversion, and this game is super about that. Like just let shit go when you need to let it go and just keep going because there's
Mhm.
gonna be something later. Um,
Yeah, and if you could remind me, is there like a time dilation system in the game? Does like time pass, or can you actually take your time on the little generated biomes that you go to?
so yeah, time is always kind of ticking away. There's a day and night cycle,
Okay.
and but the thing is, with most survival games, you've always got the the attributes that are going to be like ticking away at you, right? Like so your hunger, your
Hmm.
thirst and stuff. So that's kind of like a natural timer that kind of pushes you forward.
Yeah.
But honestly, like sometimes it's just better. Like when you go to sleep, it'll tell you you choose how many hours you sleep for, and it'll tell you how much thirst, how much hunger is going to be added to that.
Okay.
And or like taken away, like how much you're going to get minus food and whatever, right? So you get to make those decisions, and sometimes it's just worth it. Like I might wolves tend to be more active at night, so if I get stuck surrounded by wolves, I'll jump in a school bus, go to sleep for 4 hours or however many until it's daytime, and just try to sneak my way back out. Um, yeah, but or build a trap right outside the thing and whatever, like try to fudge it.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's a day and night cycle you got to think about. At nighttime it usually gets windier, so that's when you got to like make sure you have
Bundle up.
you have clothes from you make from like rabbit hides, boar hides, all that stuff. And there's some like special animals some rare animals you can find and stuff. But if
Oh, really?
yeah, I think it's probably better, if you replayed it often, you can kind of find those things. Um, but yeah, not me. I'm
Right.
just
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it.
Yeah,
um,
that's kind of like those the random generated games kind of like get their luster from is the amount of times you can replay it and find something new, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's definitely one of those games.
Mm-hmm. And so if you do a playthrough, so you have that dog with you. The dog, you can choose either Aesop, which is a cool name, or Daisy. It's like a hound
Okay.
dog or a Dalmatian, and they have their own like pack, so you can store things on their back. Um,
Hmm.
the subsequent playthrough, you whichever dog you pick will have the last items on their pack. It'll hold it because the story is when the dog gets you to where you need to go, the dogs are then sent out to go find the next survivors. So the idea is like it's the same dog. Um,
That's right.
so it's pretty cool.
The
Um,
dog lives unlike, like as the dog should. The dog should always live
what?
in any
Well,
sort of scenario.
yeah, not petable. So I guess it's a fucking 5 out of 10. Everybody, we're all upset we can't pet the fucking virtual
Uh,
dogs.
I mean, it was before that time, right? So you got to give it a pass.
I
Before it
I
became
guess it's
a,
so
a
fucking
Twitter.
it's so fucking stupid that people like make such a big deal about that shit. It's like, oh, I got
I
to
feel
press
like
a
it's kind of
button.
just like that. I feel like it's a part of like that modern like internet humor, like we're just very cynical and just
Ugh,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So
the thing that eats at my soul every day. Yeah,
yeah,
every time I get on
it
Twitter, I'm
prevents me
just like,
from going on Twitter.
ugh, I just get so upset. Like, just stop reading this. This
Uh,
is not good for you. Um,
yeah, exactly.
I'll never learn. Yeah,
Yeah, avoid Twitter and Reddit. You'll just be happier in general. Just
yeah. I mean,
this is our little shitting on the internet segment.
yeah, there you go. Let's wrap
Podcast.
up. Fuck the internet. That was our fuck
Yeah.
the internet minute. So thanks for watching, by the way. Uh,
Yep.
what else?
Not sponsored, by the way.
Not by the internet? No. I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, this might end up being a shorter podcast than usual, but um,
I mean, we can branch into talking about how survival games usually have progressed since then, since it is now an older game.
yeah, it's weird to think that it's an older game too, because it's an indie game, so it gets
That's right.
special.
Small studio, but like I think this is also I could be wrong. I'm gonna try double checking right now. But I'm pretty sure this is one of the games that was during like the game Kickstarter like phase when that was like a big
Oh
thing,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
like really start to kick off. So
Right.
I think it was a Kickstarter game. And then That's also just like an interesting thing to think about, like how that's progressed. Just a little side tangent there. I feel like that's why, or like that birth, like the whole early access thing.
Right,
Why
right.
Steam just now allows early access games pretty much to just stop people from going to Kickstarter. So
Yeah, basically, right? I mean, we
yeah,
both play Project Zomboid, and that's a still early access,
early
right?
access. Yeah,
For
it's been
like
in
10
early access
years.
for a long time. Yeah, very long time. That might be. I think that's an older game than Flame of the
But
Flint. So
yeah. Um, let's see. Some of the
yeah, Zomboid, November 8th, 2013. That is an
Jesus.
old game.
Yeah, that's a 10-year-old game, yeah. So
Uh,
some of the things that let's see. Oh, some of the dangers I guess we could talk about that you run into. We already talked about animals and stuff. There's a bunch of other things you have to really account for. Poison ivy is a thing.
ugh,
It just makes
yeah,
you itchy.
anything just makes yeah, things that make you itchy is the worst.
Yeah.
Don't ants, like, make you lacerated or something? Or
They
something makes you lacerated?
there's like thorny bushes. Those will lacerate
Okay.
you. Ants, if you walk into an ant pile, they'll just sting you.
Bastards.
Yeah.
Bastards.
What else? I'm trying to think. I think that's about it as far as like the passive type. You just walk over
Right.
something and like, oh shit.
And the complexity comes from just the arrangement from the randomized zones, right?
Yeah,
So, like, you could just have and
and just like making all the cures for all that, right? Like
mhm,
there's a
right.
bunch of like making bandages. You can make a splint if a fucking boar gets to you, they're gonna break your bones. So you
God.
got to splint up.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, and you
Bastards.
don't have like a melee attack. You basically just have a scare away thing that doesn't really work.
Mhm.
Just eats up your stamina. You do have like a dash, but you have a stamina bar, so you can't improve on that. Um, so you got what you got. You're gonna have to think about movement and that's something I also started to do later in the game when it started to get harder and materials are getting more scarce. I started to like route my escapes as I was walking into a new area. Not necessarily putting traps down because it was getting harder to find the materials to make them, but just like no, like okay, there's a car down and to the left of me from where I'm at. If something comes at me, I can run around the car to give me a little bit of time to regain my stamina and then dash back to the raft and get out of there. Oh, we actually didn't talk about the rafting part,
That's right.
which is
The
the highest risk part. uh,
uh,
yeah, so you're on a boat, you're a raft, and you're going down a river. But there's a bunch of stuff happening. Like there's junk floating in the river. There's rocks. There's parts of land that are just sticking around, like houses and stuff on hills over the water. You can't hit any of this. You do any of that, you run into anything, you're gonna take damage to your raft. Certain amount of damage, your raft is broken. You can
mhm,
you can find parts like old lumber, nuts and bolts and stuff when you dock to fix it. You can make like patches and stuff. Um,
mhm.
but this is the hardest part because you don't have really a choice. You're basically moving left and right to avoid these things. Uh,
Right, you were flowing down the river
yeah,
at a
and
rapid pace
yeah, and there
most of
are
the
like
time.
whitewater areas that get real rough, and you are
Mhm,
just hauling it. So if you want to make a right to get to a campfire, but you're going too fast, you're just gonna have to move on and let go. And that's kind of the thing. The game is very much like the way to win this game is to learn to just let go and just roll the dice. Like you're
that's
better
right.
off just like I'm not gonna try to force my way this way. Just keep going, whatever. Like
Mhm.
and it's something.
Sometimes, like, yeah, it's a type of game where, like, sometimes you could just get really unlucky.
Oh yeah,
And,
oh
uh,
yeah,
and just be completely botched from the very start and just try to, like, piece it together as you go, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's a game where you can die from hunger in a way that is just really dissatisfying. You're just like, I'm stuck here. I'm surrounded by wolves. I can't leave. I'm out of dandelions. Oh crap! And you just die from hunger. and and
I
and
guess
as
I'll
you
just fall over and die.
yeah as it gets like to the the starving point, like starvation point, like your screen starts to get all wonky and you're like tripping out. I'm like, yep, that's probably
Mhm.
what it's like. But yeah, there's a lot of ways to die. Hunger is one of them. Thirst is another one, which is
Mm.
really weird. Um, you can just die from your injuries. Um, I
Right.
I died from a snake bite. I got a snake bite, and it started raining, and I couldn't find any of the things to make. Well, I couldn't make a fire because it was raining, and I had the ingredients I think to
Uh,
make the cure, but I needed a fire to make it. So I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep and wait for the morning. Hopefully the rain's gone, and I died in my sleep
Oh
from the
no!
snake bite.
God,
Yeah, so it was like,
so brutal.
and there is a, you can restart. It does quick, like checkpoint at like every dock, so you can restart. But it also has a permadeath mode, which
Mhm.
I kind of want to try out, but I don't know if
I
I
I
want to.
I vaguely recall trying that out, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to die.
Yeah,
um,
unforgiving.
yeah, it can be unforgiving, but like that's the thing. That's the other thing you kind of learn is like you gotta get you gotta get it while the going's good, right? Like if there's a bunch of stuff at the beginning that you're like, you know what, I have enough rope. Like, no, you fucking don't. Like, get what you need. Get like the basics and get them quick while it's safe before you're like constantly surrounded by wolves, right? Um, and there's only one spot where you basically have to do like a combat scenario, or you have to like deal with like three wolves, a boar, and a bear, and it's like it's story locked. And so like
Yeah.
there's some materials to make traps, but even then you gotta figure out how to direct them into the traps and stuff. Um,
Mhm.
that was all right. That I think that was like the least enjoyable part because I died a lot, but also like
And it also required combat, right?
yeah, I was just like I don't really want to. I just avoid this. Like if it was a
Yeah.
real situation, I wouldn't fucking take on three wolves and a bear. What are you talking about?
Yeah, fuck that.
What?
This isn't
No.
like, I'm not Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I wouldn't take on a dog. I'd be like, nah, get away from me. I'm gonna go the other way. I could just get on my raft and leave, you know.
Yeah.
But you get like marooned and stuff, so it's like a story thing. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, um, overall, I would say the game does some like pretty. It does it does some hardcore-ish stuff, but it packages it in a way where it doesn't feel like insanely punishing. Um,
Right.
and it all feels kind of manageable. Um,
I feel like it lends to, when you think about it, like being the way it is, it lends to like when the game came out, uh, because this is like I feel like it's definitely like that shining moment in gaming where like roguelikes were really starting to take off. It was like this brand new thing, and indie devs are jumping on it and really like starting to flesh it out and what a roguelike could be, like Binding of Isaac and all that. But to get people more into, like, ease people into like survival games in general, as far as like, especially for like an artsy like isometric game. Like, yeah, I recall that game, Flame in the Flood, doing a pretty good job of like selling this idea that you needed to survive in this extreme condition, and while just like giving you the little pieces in a very digestible way for you to pick it up and like run with it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and whereas now, like today, like games are just in left and right directions. Sometimes they're really easy. Sometimes they're just like insanely hard
yeah,
as far as survival games go. And like it's just a very polarizing genre. And it's all over the place.
yeah. It feels like there's some games that are just they seem to be, and I'm gonna test them out. But they seem to be just like bad luck generators and not fucking survival
Yeah.
games. It's just like
Yeah, that's
um
funny. That's really good. I like that.
yeah, like so I purchased it. And I'm gonna probably check it out maybe next week. But I got Green Hell, and
Oh god.
all I've heard about that game is like watch out for fucking ant bites and wasps, and
Anything.
like the trees
Anything.
will scratch you. And I'm like Jesus Christ.
You ate the wrong berry, you're dead.
Right.
You
And
got
it's like
dysentery.
it's gonna be right. It's gonna be that kind of like that kind of punishment. I'm still looking forward to it to see what I could
Yeah,
get
I'm curious
from
of
it.
what you think. I've only seen it played, but I have not played it myself.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how it goes, but yeah, this game does a good job of making it mechanically it's very simple. Only having four things to worry about for the most part is makes it really manageable in that sense. Like it
Hmm.
doesn't seem like an over daunting task that's just like it's gonna be impossible. But I mean, you will have
Right.
bad luck, but you'll also have like if you save enough for the bad luck, if you make your corn cakes or whatever, like, then you just hold off and don't run through all your materials too early. Knowing that's the thing. This game gives it like a sense of like hope that a lot of that well, I'll just say Zomboid fucking does not. Like Zomboid starts by
Yeah.
telling you this is how you died. This game
Yeah.
starts with like a death, but like almost like a rebirth. It's like, hey, you're next.
Right.
Let's see what you can do. And right
Uh,
off the bat, it's like, hey, go find people. It's like awesome. But like Zomboid's like, and you're alone. I'm like, ah, fuck. And it's like, and
yeah.
everybody's dead for some reason. Like, okay, great, great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, don't
Yeah,
fire a gun.
Zomboid is planning on adding like actual like human NPCs and like they're going crazy with it from what I've heard, but
That is the
yeah,
most
right now.
exciting thing about that,
Yeah.
like upcoming. I like hunting and stuff. That's fine, but I want to contribute to something in universe. I want to
Yeah.
like, and I want to talk to people. I don't want to be alone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why yeah, right now Zomboid. A lot of people do enjoy playing it solo just to see how long they can last, which
Right.
is the cool challenge in itself. And I'm not one of those people. Playing it with a friend is absolutely so much more enjoyable.
It is optimal. It is the only way to fuck it. Like I've been trying to survive like a week, and I've gotten some really lucky runs.
Oh yeah,
But fuck, man, it's just like
so hard.
you know what it is? I'm an idiot. I should never get in a car. The car fucks me up every time. I'm like, I'm
Really?
gonna get in a car and I'm gonna dip and I'm gonna find like one time I found a farm and it was empty. I couldn't believe it. Big ass house
Mhm.
full of canned foods, books, all this stuff. The power's
Wow,
still on.
nice.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
great. And then I'm like, well, I got all this cool stuff. Let me go see if I can find some like tools. I get on the road and I hit the first fucking electric pole with the car. I like
Oh no.
break an arm or something, and then like eight zombies just
Oh
come out of the
god.
woods. I'm like, great, okay, well now it's over. Why did I should have
It's over. It's
just
all over.
I just stay in the car. I was like, I'm just gonna wait here. Like I'm not even gonna
Wait,
bother. Just come get me. Whatever.
that's funny.
Smoke my cigarettes and just and have a panic
And you're
attack. Dude, just
yeah,
freaking out. I'm
yeah.
just like, you're not moving. That's it.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like the enjoyment with like Zomboid definitely is like a pure sandbox.
yeah,
Like zombie like apocalypse game where like just like there's sim aspects in that game you literally just don't see in any other game. Honestly, like if like future like, like I would absolutely love to see like bigger devs teams or like and just even other indie teams like take a look at like Zomboid's character creator and just
yeah.
like go off of that because that alone is so fucking good. Just the fact that you just like have all these combinations of positive perks balanced with negative perks. I my first character, I've talked to you about it before, Oliver, I don't know if you remember, but was an agoraphobic lumberjack. And it was
That's right.
just the funniest fucking thing. I absolutely love that character because, like, one of the perks in the game is that you can pick it up a positive perk of being an adrenaline junkie. And an adrenaline junkie means every time you're panicked, you move faster than normal. And so if you're agoraphobic, you're panicked all the time when you're outside, so you could just run super fucking fast no matter where you are as long as you're outside. So yeah, I was a lumberjack who was afraid of the outdoors and it was great.
Yeah, yeah. I usually just play. I mean, I don't want to make it all about Zomboid, but
Yeah, yeah.
I usually play burglar, so I can just get into houses and
Yeah,
out,
Thief's fantastic. You
and
can hotwire cars
yeah,
immediately.
steal cars and then crash them immediately. Crash because I can't fucking control it. Just
Uh,
hit pedal to the metal, slam into a crowd of 30 of them. I'm like, ah, Fuck. And it
I really
starts.
love driving in that game. I know it's not
Oh
easy
God, I hate
for
it.
a lot of people.
Oh my
It's
God, I
I
hate it.
really enjoy it.
Isometric driving is just not. It's like driving.
Le
You know what it is? It's playing fucking GTA One. No,
Exactly, yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But GTA
That
One
was one
isn't
of my first
isometric.
PC games, yeah.
Yeah, but it's top
It's top
down.
down, yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
more
yeah.
sense. I can't.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I think that goes into a little bit of our discussion from last week of control systems and like how I was discussing about how it's difficult for me to control a character that isn't locked to the center of the screen.
right.
So like Zomboid, you are locked into the center of the screen, and you do have an option to like move the camera around when you're like
Oh yeah.
essentially looking or listening.
Right.
But yeah, the car controls are pretty easy come for me in that game. Just because of the center of the screen kind of thing allows me to adjust easier for that.
Yeah. You can have it every
I
time.
think all right, yeah.
Every time. It's just
Car collector.
I'm just smashing into everything and everyone. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? And
Yeah.
but anyways, yeah. Flame in the flood. Uh the flame in I always
No
call it
cars in that game.
no cars. I always call it a flame in a flood. It's the flame in the flood. Anyways.
Yeah.
Um I give this like a I don't know, a 9 out of 10. Um
9 out of 10. Wow.
yeah, I mean,
That's pretty high praise.
I gotta consider like so whenever I like try to rate a game, generally I think more about not like is this the greatest game of all time because that's a stupid way to think about things. I think about
Of
like
course.
is it making is it is it achieving its own design goals, and is it like
Mhm.
doing not is it like great for me, or is it like do I
That's
like this
interesting,
stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, I try to think of it that way that's how you would look at art, right? Is it achieving the
Right.
goal it's trying to achieve? And I think this gets really close to it. I think there's some things there's some technical problems, um, some funky lighting issues that happen often. Sometimes it's not like technically like clean. Uh,
Mm.
it could use a little bit. I mean, it's not going to anymore, but there was room for some improvement. Um, but I kind of would like to see a little bit more customization in what you can do as far as like the parameters for your survival situation. Um,
Mhm.
but overall, I think it's like for the price and for what you get, it's a pretty solid survival sim. Um, that isn't not, well, I don't want to say sim, right? Because it's not like simulating, but it's a good game. Like you can have fun while playing it, but still be challenged, and it's got a good balance of both.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I like it, and it looks great.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, it's fantastic art style.
yeah, forgot to talk about the music. The music is really good.
Yeah, music, I was looking that up, is, composed by Chuck Reagan. I
That
don't
guy,
recognize him
don't recognize him either.
particular, but, it's got a nice, like, Southern
Yeah,
Mississippi vibe to it, and it's just yeah, it draws you in. It's
yeah,
really good.
I did that. That also counts against it for me. I wish there was more because they're like the quiet moments. You don't get a lot from it. There's not
Mm,
like at night. There's usually not music, and it's like okay, it's just quiet. And I'm like, I could have used something like a. It's very guitar heavy. It's very like
mhm.
electric guitar, but like in this like southern style. It's very cool, very bluesy sometimes. But like I don't know. Like I get hype when I get on the raft and the music starts playing. I'm like, yeah, we're moving, let's do it. And then I get off and it's just like dead. I'm like, all right, why? Like,
Yeah.
let's keep it going. Just because it's nighttime, we could play some music. Let's hang out.
That'd be
Yes.
nice.
So yeah, that kind of it's a knock against it, but just because I want more of it. Um,
Mhm.
and also like the ending, the last negative thing, the ending was a little too drawn out. There's a part where you spoilers, you get out of the river and you're getting to like where you're supposed to get to, but it's in the ocean. So
Oh, damn.
you're going out in the ocean, but like the view doesn't really change, so you don't see much. You just see the whole screen is just water and like a few buoys,
Hmm.
but it goes on for like the duration of a song, but you're not doing much.
Oh,
You're
I
just
see.
going, and it's just like, all
So
right,
it's kinda like just interactive credits, I
Not
guess.
even credits. There's just nothing. You're just going forward in a storm, and I'm just like,
Oh, I see.
and that's where like the lighting got weird. You can start to like, I don't know if it's called artifacting. I'm not a fucking engineer, but like you can see parts of the ocean like split. You can see where they split
Oh, I
because of the
see. Yeah.
lighting and stuff, and it gets weird. And it kind of like it pulled me out at like the worst time because it was like this is the
Right.
culmination of everything you've
The
done, and it's just
yeah,
like, oh man,
the
like
finale. Yeah, you want
yeah,
to nail that for sure.
yeah. So that was kind of like, eh. But besides the technical stuff, I think it's a really good game. If you're looking for a good survival game to just kind of pop in, pop out, you get an endless mode, which is pretty cool, and it's not
Yep.
gonna like it doesn't require like you don't need a notebook. You don't gotta take notes. You know, not one of those.
Dang.
Yeah, just watch out for the
I
ants.
really, yeah, but you don't want to step on them. Ruin your day.
They really do.
Before you know it, you're gonna be a skeleton with a dog plucking your backpack off you. That's just how that goes, man.
That's how it goes. Yeah,
Second those ants get you, you're done.
that's life.
You're done. That's right. So yeah, if you're interested after listening to us talk about Flame in the Flood, sorry, The Flame in the Flood,
Very good. Very good.
by the a CD Project game development studio called the Molasses Flood.
Oh yeah.
I did not know that after reading up on them that they're a small development studio owned by CD Project.
Oh,
So
I didn't
that's
know
pretty
that.
cool.
That's dope.
Yeah. And music by Chuck Reagan. Check it out.
Yeah, go buy it.
It's real cheap.
Yeah.
It's real cheap on Steam if you don't have it already.
Yeah, I played it on Switch. Performance was fine, besides what I mentioned. Um, Also, very cool to have that kind of game on the go. Playing on the train, I did like a few. You know,
Oh yeah, a little couple endless mode runs or something like
I
that.
just did like like I just picked up where I left off because just suspend the console
Oh
and then
right, okay.
just did like a few kilometers, miles. I don't remember how
Mm,
it's measured. Um,
yeah.
that was cool, and it also gives you like at the end of the game, it gives you this cool little map to see how far you've gone and what little decisions you made, like where you stopped and stuff. It's kind of cool.
Hmm.
But
That's
yeah,
cool.
I recommend it. This game has my blessing.
Oliver's Blessing stamped
That's right. It,
and immortalized
it
on
shit.
YouTube.
That's where it goes, and hopefully some kind of podcast catcher. I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, like iTunes or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Wherever you're listening, friends.
Hey, and if you're listening, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we do actually. It's
Really appreciate it.
That came off kind of sarcastic. Let me try that again. Hey, we
All
actually
right, from the
appreciate you
top.
listening. I can't fucking do it. I can't say actually. When you say actually, it makes it sound.
Actually,
We really appreciate it. Thanks for
we
listening.
do. Thank
Follow
you.
us. Follow the thing wherever you're doing the thing. Join our Discord so you can recommend us games to talk about and play with us and all that stuff. We're working on things. We're getting things going.
Making things happen.
Yeah. Uh, Trying to get some more community gaming going. So check
Yep.
check us
Yep.
out
Yep. Yep.
and do that thing.
Zomboid server?
Zomboid? Maybe.
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 We're gonna check it out right now.
Maybe.
I can't get any higher. All right. Thanks for listening. Say bye,
Thank
Mike.
you. Bye bye.
See ya.